I didn't know that Trisha and Moses were 10 years apart.
Oh, Moses is in his 40s?
He's 10 years older than her. 11, technically. And I don't think it matters. Like, I think that once you're over 25, age really is irrelevant because you're old enough to know, like, better or
yeah,
not
your
better.
frontal lobe is developed.
Yep,
right?
You're fully capable of making your own decisions. And Trisha, I think she just turned 37, like, today, the day that we're recording this. So, like, it's whatever. But it's also, like, she shames people so much for, like, age gaps in their relationships at all. And it's always a man who's, like, 10 to 15 years older.
Yeah,
and
she's like, ew, what does that old man want to do with that young girl anyways? Like,
yeah.
And
It's just an interesting little tidbit.
I really just stay standing by that Moses swooped his way in there. He saw his bag, and she fell for it, and now that's what it is. And so I'm sure he is a good partner. If she didn't have millions, do I think he would be? Probably not.
Yeah,
but
I could totally see that.
You know.
And speaking of their relationship, this is something that I only even thought of it after, like, the third week of her talking about it on the podcast. So there is this photo shoot that Walton Goggins did where he's, like, wearing this, like, yellow Speedo. It's, like, penis, like, front and center on the screen, like, in a Speedo type thing, of course. But he's very naked and just very out and whatever.
Oh my God, he's Baby Billy. Have you watched?
I don't know what that means.
Have you watched Righteous Gemstones?
No.
Okay.
I've heard a lot about that show the last week. I don't know why.
It's funny, and he's one of the main characters, Baby Billy.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I didn't know. Well, so he does his photo shoot. He's in White Lotus, so he's just, like, popping with that right now. So he does this, and Trisha's obsessed. Like, Walton Goggins is her new obsession. And she keeps asking Moses to do this photo shoot. And he's like, I don't want to. I don't want to. And he says it over and over and over again. And he was like, I would do it, but you would post it somewhere. Like, I would do it, but I don't want to be like this on the internet. And he's like, said so many times that he's, like, uncomfortable and clearly doesn't want to do it. He was like, it'd be one thing if it was private. But then Trisha pressured him into saying he would do it if Walton Goggins comes on the podcast. But, like, taking your clothes off for a photo shoot if you don't want to do it is, like, nerve-wracking. Well, a fan gives Trisha a AI-generated version of Moses on this body, like, with the yellow Speedo. And all I'm saying is if Moses was trying to pressure Trisha into, like, posing in a bikini, and she kept talking about, and she has talked about it every week, and he has said no. And then finally last week he was like, I'll do it if he comes on the podcast, I guess. And, like, you can just tell he gets kind of embarrassed whenever she talks about it, and she just persists. And I'm like, even the AI image, I'm like,
because there's just no way that the girlies would be so behind this same exact situation if it was a guy talking about his girlfriend. If first he saw a picture of a girl that was, like, his celebrity crush who took pictures in a bikini, and he was like, babe, you got to take pictures like this. Please take these pictures. I want you to take these pictures so bad. And the girl was like, I mean, I don't really, like, want to. And he was like, please do it.
He kept pressuring and pressuring and pressuring.
Like, the girlies would not be feeling the same.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree. So I just thought it was, like, an interesting, like, perspective on it, because it was like, I haven't seen anybody else talking about this, but I really noticed it whenever, like, Trisha's sister was on the podcast this past week, and she was like, you should do that for her. You should do that for her. And it's like, I don't know that he should, because he said multiple times that he doesn't want to. And then they brought up, what if he came on the podcast, and then, like, he finally agreed to it. And it's like, but that also would put Trisha's podcast up higher. So it's like, at that point, you've got Moses posing like this is a celebration of her, like, getting a better guest. Like, I don't know. I was just like, this is weird, and, like, no one is talking about it.
Yeah. It's also all just, like, weird. Like, I mean, how he said pretty much. But just, I mean, too, like, if a guy was freaking out about some girl, was, like, obsessed with her, loved the picture in her bikini, wanted his girlfriend to take the pictures in the bikini, and was like, I want her to come on this podcast. I want her on this podcast so bad. Will you take pictures in the bikini if she comes on this podcast? Like, it's just actually weird if you turn it around.
Yeah, and there have been a lot of conversations where, like, because, you know, Trisha has this thing where she gets, like, really, like, hyper fixated on someone. And, like, I'm sure it's
probably one of her 20 disorders that she self-diagnoses.
Yeah. Yeah. And there have been a lot of moments where, like, Moses was like, she'd be, like, wanting to do a role in a movie, but she'd be like, Moses, would you be okay if I had to kiss so-and-so for a role? And he's like, probably not. Because, like, he knows how she feels about him, you know? And he's just, like, really honest about that stuff. So I just feel like you're saying, like, if it were the other way around, like,
we would all be like, he's a disgusting pig. She needs to dump him.
Yeah,
like, that's how we would be thinking.
They would be dragging him, for sure.
Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm Alyssa.
And you just watched a clip from Glitter Gel Pen.
We upload new episodes every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And we also upload clips like the one you just watched 3 times a week.
Subscribe for more.